3.
He's a creative genius. The brother is capable of creating music in any situation. He's been in touch with the whole history of music, jazz, Afro-Cuban style, eclectic, versatile, spontaneous, crazy. Drummer, musician, writer, entertainer, son of
Oh, everybody knows Victor Jones.
He's got it all now.
Can you hear me?
Here we go.
I always consider myself an R&B bop musician because as far as drums are concerned, this is my roots as a drummer. But I learned formal music from playing the trumpet, you know. But when I play the drums, it's like I can just play anything that comes to my mind at any time. It's just not an effort. I can play the drums for hours and never be bored and never repeat myself. Shortly after graduating high school, I played with Lou Donaldson. So that kind of got me in the jazz world. So consequently, I started recording with Lou. Then I played with Jimmy McGriff, and so I recorded with him. So over the years, I've had the opportunity to record with some great artists. When I met Stan Getz, I was 22, and I started playing in his band when I was 22 years old. So he started me into the big world of music. So that was really an experience. I don't know how young musicians learn how to play jazz or R&B or soul music or whatever. I don't know how they do it, from records or whatever, from schools, I guess. But I learned out there on the road in Wichita, Kansas, and in St. Louis, and in Chicago, and in Detroit, playing all these clubs. We played the Chitlin Circuit. The Chitlin Circuit was all the black clubs around America. So we played all those places. A lot of different cultures have influenced me. I've traveled around the world as a sideman. I've done all I could do. I played in front of hundreds of thousands of people around the world, every place on the face of this earth. India and Africa and Japan, the taiko drummers in Japan, and that also influenced me. My main influence in drums was Art Blakey because, you know, not only was he a dear friend of mine, but he was just a great teacher, a great drummer, and I try to fashion my whole band and my whole thing after him. He was very creative and at the same time incredibly entertaining. He would entertain an audience but he would do it, you know, he was just so happening, so powerful. And he hired all those great young musicians. So, and in a sense, this is what I'm doing with my band. You know, I hire young musicians. I get influenced by them, and I give them my maturity. And okay, let's see if we can fit this into my my act. The hip hop jazz thing, or the acid jazz, which was a big movement in New York City, and in England as well, and in Paris as well. You know, and in Italy it was kind of happening. So I was a part of that scene. I really felt strongly about that music, acid jazz or hip-hop jazz, whatever you want to call it. I felt strong about it because I thought that, you know, I said, well, jazz needs something. It doesn't need, you know, it seemed like it's going backwards or it's stuck in the mud. It's not going anywhere. It's like, here we are now. What do we do? So, you know, with the rappers and the DJs and the scratchers, I dug that. I still dig it. I still dig DJs because that's the direction the music has gone, and it's going, and you can't stop it.
People always tell me what we do it won't last. Rapping on the mic, taking this fast. Every time I go on the mic, I do it right. But every time I do it, yo, it's out of sight.
So I always look to the younger people for, you know, directions to go. You know, some people don't believe in that, but I do. Music is sounds. It's just sounds. You collect sounds, and if it sounds good, it's a sound, it's a feeling, it's a spirit. So if you have a good spirit and you have a good sound and you make it feel good, it's going to sound like good music. I don't care what genre it is, you know. I don't care if it's rap or soul or jazz or funk, you know. The music that's important is the music that touches you.
Touching me, touching you, just teach me how to.
Drums and voice are the essence of the music that we play, and the essence of the music that you hear in America and most music in the Western world. The drums keep you dancing. The voice makes you remember the songs, makes you sing along, right? So this is my idea for Cultur Versy. I want to have great singers. I want to have great rhythms. I want it to look hip. The concept behind Cultur Versy is what I want. It's a sort of progressive R&B band with vocals, with a lot of rhythms, drums and vocals. So, you know, I'm using contemporary sound. I'm using drum loops. I'm using sampled sounds. I'm using DJ scratching. But the essence of the group is still an R&B based group. They call it neo soul. So this is what we're doing. The show is non-stop, and I'm really happy the way things are going because our repertoire is growing more and more. We rehearse, we hang out together. It's a band as opposed to a lot of groups you see. They just hire some guys just to do the night. Oh, we're playing here Friday night. But with Cultur Versy, I mean, we hang out together. They come over to my house. We eat dinner together. We go to parties together. We do a lot of stuff. We talk to each other on the phone every day. We email each other, you know. And that, to me, makes a difference when it's a band, you know, as opposed to just some guys came together to play some music. It's a band, so, and it's pretty funky and it's pretty exciting. The audience feels it. Whatever you do, the audience feels what you do. You can't like fool the audience. The audience knows what's happening. They look and say, oh, these guys are comfortable up there. And, you know, we have special guest artists like Mino Sinaloo. Mino Sinaloo is the percussionist who plays with, he played with Sting for a long time. He played with Miles Davis for a long time. They have a tradition of letting, especially musicians who are with it, who are aware of what I'm doing. I'm not just going to let anybody come up on stage and sit in. I say this guy has to know what's happening. You got to know what's happening in R&B music. You got to know what's happening in blues music. If you have dance hall, if you have techno music, if you have R&B, they're all kind of close to each other. Blues, R&B, rock and roll, and jazz music are like very close to each other. They're like cousins. If all these various musics I'm speaking of all come from the same tree, so I'm able to, you know, like mesh them all together and put them in a blender or whatever, and it comes out as Cultur Versy. This is like my baby. I'm concentrating deeply on this, and I want to get this and nail it and make it really strong.